Hello and welcome to the second part of my Istanbul videos. In this video, I will take you to my favorite places in Istanbul that are not touristic, but they're so beautiful and so unique that you want to see them. And also I'll be talking about the food and a little getaway place near Istanbul with hot springs. And if you haven't checked out my first video where I talk about the historical sites that you have to visit in Istanbul, make sure to check it out. It's already uploaded on my channel. So this is Balat, my favorite district of Istanbul. It was a Greek part of the city where a lot of Greeks lived, and there's a lot of ancient schools and churches here. We will go up to the school, the Greek school there, but now it's a district of colorful buildings, hipster cafes with great coffee and cats. Cats are the main thing about Balat. Here is very cozy, very nice. There's a lot of antique shops, and the best shops with souvenirs are here in this district of Istanbul. Balat is the most colorful part of Istanbul. It is so unique and so pretty, so cozy. I can't even express how much I love this part of the city. I come back to Istanbul just for visiting Balat. And it's the locals who make this place so unique. They try to decorate the cafes as fun as possible. They use the brightest colors existing to paint their houses, and they really pay attention to the details of their homes. They try to use different plants to put near the entrance. They do everything for the animals, the cats and dogs that live here. They open up very hipster cafes with great coffee and nice dishes, and they just really try to make this place very cozy. By the way, this is the Greek school that I mentioned before. It is a huge and very beautiful building, and I would highly recommend going up the hill to see it. Also, Balat is a district with a lot of antique shops. It's all about those cute, cozy shops with antique items. So you can find a very unique souvenirs here. And let's go to the must visits in Balat, and first one is legendary cafe Naphthalene. Why is it so legendary? Because of how cozy it is. It is very tiny, but look at the interior design. This little orange fridge door is actually entrance to the toilet, and in general you feel like you're in the Harry Potter world visiting Weasleys, and I would highly recommend visiting it. It is again very cozy, has a lot of cats, and just perfect cafe. Second of all are these most famous colorful buildings, and I will leave the location on the screen. And also, if you want to see the whole walkable route, the best route around Balat, you can find it on my Patreon account. And let's just feel the magic of this beautiful district. Another thing that I want to talk about and what makes Istanbul so special is animals, especially cats. And it's not about the quantity of them. There's a lot of stray cats on the streets, but not only in Turkey. In Greece, for example, there's a lot of cats too. But here, they're all in good condition. They have nice, soft fur. They're all well fed and they are very, very friendly. And this is due to the fact that locals treat them basically like gods. That's why they know that humans won't hurt them, and that's why they're easily allowing you to pet them. They're very, very friendly, they're very nice, and that's again because of the locals. There's so many great initiatives that help cats. For example, in Istanbul, there's a phone number which you can call that is called Animals Ambulance. So if you can see that the cat is ill, for example, at the streets, you can call this number, say the exact location, and they will come and they will take care of this cat or a dog, for example. And it's not only about government initiatives. People treat animals in general very, very well. All of the different cafes are pet friendly, and you can see the cats and dogs even in shops. People put special homes for stray cats and dogs near their houses, and even people that have cats. For example, this lady poured so much food for these like 20 cats, even though she had 2 of her cats in the house. So that's how people treat cats and dogs. Here you can see also a dog that was eating the food that was left for the animals, but then a woman came up to him and decided to feed him too, and he was so happy about it, and it is so heartwarming and so nice. Here you can see another clip where a man is giving some treats to these 2 cats that try to catch it through a very narrow space in between the windows. That was also very, very cute. But the most wholesome story is when 2 local men saw little kittens at the 2nd floor of the building that was abandoned, and they bought food and water for them. They borrowed a ladder from the shop specifically to leave food and water for the kittens. So they made so much effort just to make sure that cats were alright. Here you can also see a man and then 2 men feeding the cats near Blue Mosque, and then a woman came up and insisted that they take the money to continue doing that. At first they refused, but then she insisted once again. So it was a very nice story too. So make sure to pet those great Istanbul cats. Another must-do in Istanbul is taking Bosphorus trip around it, and let me show you how you can pay 1.5 euros instead of 20 for it. So if you want to take a boat around the Bosphorus, there's a lot of people like proposing a tour around the Bosphorus with audio guide for 20 euros. But you can go to like around Bosphorus much cheaper, just buying a ticket, for example, to another part of Istanbul, walk there and come back to the center, and it will cost much cheaper with this Istanbul card. You can pay with this in buses, in metro, in like for the boats too, and just use this hack because it's much cheaper than 20 euros. So we took a boat to Arnavutkoy, which is a very pretty district in Istanbul, and it's more far than 2 bridges. I think it's between 2nd and 3rd bridge here at the Bosphorus, and it costed like a metro, so it costed only 9 liras, which is like 50 cents instead of 20 euros. I actually messed it up a bit, and the one-way trip was 15 liras, which is still less than 1 euros that you're paying instead of 20. The boat trip is also very, very handy because you drive past great mansions on Bosphorus like Dolmabahce Palace. And the first stop is Ortaköy, which is also a quite popular tourist destination and district to visit in Istanbul, because as you can see, there's a very, very beautiful, sophisticated white mosque that is located almost under the first bridge on Bosphorus. So you can stop in Ortaköy, walk a bit there, then take another boat and stop in Arnavutkoy, then take another boat and go to another part of Istanbul, and then go back to Uskudar or Eminönü in the city center. here we are in Arnavutkoy. First of all, these districts of Istanbul are more wealthy ones. So actually the most wealthiest and most expensive districts in Istanbul are not the historical city center. They are out of the historical city center where the actual locals live. So be prepared that prices in cafes and restaurants would be a bit higher than in historical city center. But it's a very, very beautiful district with old wooden historical houses with millions of small little sophisticated details. It's very nice to go and just observe the life of the locals and how they try to make their little houses to be more cozy. They use a lot of green plants, they use different decorations, they do everything for the animals. And here you can just walk and observe how the locals sleep. I would also recommend going up the hill where you can have the best panoramic views on the biggest mosque in Istanbul, hidden between the houses and the street that it goes directly to Bosphorus. And just walk up and observe the life of the locals. It's the best thing that you can do in any city in the world. And the last must-see location in Istanbul is located in Asian part of it, and it's Uskudar. You can go there by boat, or you can take a metro that actually goes on the Bosphorus, underwater, and from Turkish station to Uskudar station. So here is where the best panoramic views on the old historical city center are opening up, and the Bosphorus, and also Kiz Kulesi. A very beautiful tower. As you can see, it's under construction right now, and also a very, very beautiful place where you can sit near Bosphorus. Is also closed for construction, but I believe they will be finishing it soon. The best time to go to Uskudar is at the sunset because it will be right in front of you. You can see all of the seagulls, walk around the Bosphorus, and witness the most breathtaking sunsets in your life. I'm not joking or exaggerating. It is absolutely breathtaking. And the last location is Yalova Hot Springs. To go there, you need to take a tram to Yenikapi station and walk there to Ido station, that is also called Yenikapi, and then choose a ferry to Yalova. First of all, you need to go to this automatic machine and then wait until your number for the queue to buy the tickets will show up. So our tickets costed 125 liras one way, but it was with a discount because there were days with discounts, so we were lucky. And you take this huge ferry. On the first floor there's car parking, and also on the second floor there's these very comfortable seats. One-way trip takes about 1 hour 20 minutes to get to Yalova from Istanbul, but during the trip you can come up to these windows and watch different islands, the sea. It is much more beautiful in summer, but now with this moody weather I really felt like I was in Norway or some kind of Nordic country. The ferry is very comfortable. You can also buy some drinks and desserts there that are very delicious. And after you come to Yalova, you need to take a bus to get to Termal. You can ask the locals, they will understand you and show you the right bus to take. It is pretty cheap and it goes right to the entrance of the thermal spring. It is called Kurşunlu Banyo, and as far as I remember, it was built back in 16th century. They discovered these hot springs of mineral water and made it to the spa complex, but then it was remade and modernized by the man himself, Atatürk, that is obviously praised like a god in Turkish society because he has done for the country so much. So you can walk around the park, drink the water from different mineral springs. And by the way, it was stated by Istanbul University that this mineral water actually helps for different diseases. And then you can enter the spa complex itself. There are two entrance fees, one for the sauna and spa complex and the other one for the outdoor warm pool. I would highly recommend getting the tickets for both. When you enter the spa complex, they give you towels and everything you need, but take the slippers with you because it's a bit slippery there. So the indoor complex has the sauna, the steam sauna that is heated up by the hot springs, also a pool with very hot water that you can sit in, and also a part of hammam. And then you can also go to the outdoor pool, swim in the warm water and cool down outside. In general, it's perfect for a one-day trip because you can't really stay there for more than 3-4 hours because it's so hot and you can't physically cool down properly. We did 3 rounds of sauna, hot pool and outdoor pool. Each round took us 1 hour, so we spent there 3 hours in the total. And now let's go back to Istanbul and I will tell you all about the best food places. And the first thing I want to talk about is breakfast. The best option for breakfast in all of the hotels is just simit and all of the kinds of cheeses. The cheeses here are very good. I would highly recommend trying them. But there are obviously some other breakfast options, for example menemen, which is kind of an omelette, and gözleme. There are different types of gözleme. I prefer with cottage cheese and would recommend trying them in historical city center where they are done in traditional way by these grandmas, and they're so good. So this is gözleme. It's nice. I want it to be a bit more salty and maybe with some green stuff inside of the cheese because this is really truly the plain cheese, but sometimes they put like spinach or something like that inside. Yeah, it has the like salt, but it doesn't have like the creamy stuff. Or with dill. It's very good when it has the dill. It's basically like an omelette with a lot of vegetables inside, like pepper and tomatoes. It's good. You can also try gözleme in other places. For example, this one is mudu, was very crispy and delicious. And after the breakfast comes the morning coffee. The traditional way to prepare Turkish coffee is in the sand. You can find it all around the city center, but it doesn't really matter how you prepare it. It's all about the coffee itself. Be prepared that it's very strong. Even if you take the sweet ice latte, it will still be strong. So it tastes good. It had a very thick foam on the top, but now it doesn't have it. Don't laugh at me. And I think it's the same taste as if you would take it just a Turkish coffee. It doesn't have to be prepared in the sand to get the same thing. Except for traditional Turkish coffee, you can also try different variations of it. For example, the Ottoman style of preparing it is adding the milk, and you can try other beverages. For example, this is salep that I tried in the famous cafe in Balat, Naphthalene Cafe, that I already mentioned in this video. And let's see how I describe the flavor of it. Spicy, but not spicy, it's very flavorful. Like you would expect something like Arab style flavor, but also sweet, but not too sweet. I can't even explain it, but it's very good. So by the texture, salep is very similar to the milk from the oats. You know, when you mix the oats with the milk, it makes it a bit gooey and thick, and this is the texture of this beverage. And by the taste and like flavor, it's sweet but also with cinnamon, and it's so good. I would highly recommend visiting Naftalin Cafe and trying this. And obviously Turkish tea, you have to try the classic bardak chai and also apple tea. They're both so delicious. I would highly recommend trying it and seeing the culture of drinking tea here. Now let's move on to food, and the first thing I want to talk about is appetizers, because they play a huge role in Turkish food culture. Here's the thing about Turkish cuisine is that you need to try different appetizers like this. This is our favorite, it's haydari. Basically take a bread and you dip it into it and just eat it like this. A huge part of Istanbul food culture is street food, and doner in particular. You can also try the famous fat burger dipped in the sauce, but it was kind of meh, and doner is a must try. There's different types of it, and the food is high quality so you don't get the stomach ache, and I highly recommend trying it. Another thing from street food is kumpir. It's this huge, absolutely huge potato with all of the toppings that you want. You can choose the toppings that you want to add and then eat this huge, absolutely huge thing. It's mixed already with butter and with cheese, and it's kind of nice too. And obviously a huge part of Turkish cuisine is meat. You can try different variations of it, like whole meat pieces in doner or shashlik, or you can try minced meat dishes like köfte or kebab, which is my favorite out of all Turkish food. The Urfa or Adana kebab, depending on spices, they are so delicious. Another must try in Istanbul is pide and lahmacun. Lahmacun is like a pizza with minced meat, and pide can be also with meat, or I prefer personally with cheese. It is delicious. So this is pide. I prefer the cheese one the most, but the best way to eat it is to order haydari, which is a yogurt with some herbs in it, sometimes mint, a bit of garlic, and then you dip it in, and then it's amazing. Lahmacun, it depends on the place that you will try it, because previous ones that I tried in previous trips to Istanbul were like, but this one is actually very nice. And also I would really recommend eating all of the food in Turkey, all of the salty food in Turkey with ayran. Very delicious, and it's also very good for digesting. And it's basically like kefir. It's like milk product, but not milk. It's like a bit salty, sometimes thicker, sometimes more like watery, but it's so good. Let's move on to desserts, and first one is baklava. I already told you about the best place to eat it in the first part of the video. And as you can see by reaction, it is actually delicious. There's a lot of dessert cafes all around Istanbul that offer different kinds of typical desserts, or this is very popular one with strawberries and cream. But let's move on to the most hyped dessert from all of the travel vlogs and TikToks from Istanbul, and it is San Sebastian cheesecake that you can eat in cafes near Galata Tower. And it's not overrated, trust me, it is like heaven on earth. It is so creamy, so delicious. It is one of the best desserts I've had in my entire life. Okay, let's try it. It's very good. It's very creamy with chocolate. This place also offered very good coffee and tea, and by the way, I'm making a full list of the cafes and restaurants with the best food in Istanbul and the full guide to the city on my Patreon, so you can go and support me there and find all of the information there. And the next thing I need to mention is dondurma or Turkish ice cream. Don't throw rocks at me, but I will say it out loud. It is better than Italian ice cream. It is 100% better. It is made out of natural ingredients. It has a unique structure and it is just so delicious. I always come back to Turkey and I always buy ice cream there because it's an unbelievable experience and it's just so good. Oh, it is just amazing. You need to try it to understand what I'm talking about. Let's go back to baklava and talk a little bit about künefe. I'm not sure if it's considered a variation of baklava, but it's like a crispy pancake soaked in sugar syrup and with cheese in the middle of it. The cheese is not salty or sugary, it's just like plain cheese inside of it, and you eat it with ice cream and sometimes some nuts. It's a nice combination of flavors, so you really need to try it. And the last thing that I want to talk about is these pancakes with nuts cream in it, with pistachio cream in it. They were very good. In general, as a non-native English speaker, I really lack the words to describe how good Turkish cuisine is. In my opinion, it's also better than Greek one. And in Turkey and in Istanbul in particular, you won't be craving for pizza or a burger because of how good the traditional food is. I would highly recommend trying all of the dishes that I mentioned before and just go out and explore the city, explore the culture, explore the food, and just enjoy your experience in Istanbul. I hope that this video was helpful for you and was inspiring to go out of the city center and explore other parts of Istanbul because they're so beautiful and you can really see how the locals live here, and it's always so special about traveling. I hope that it will inspire you to visit this beautiful city and travel because it's always worth it. It's always worth exploring new stuff.